This is a rust hole. These are rust holes. This is a rust hole. This is not a rust hole, but I don't really know what else to call it. Hello and welcome along to this journey while I restore this BMW 318 IS. Now, there comes a time in any project or restoration where the car goes from being a car and turns into just a collection of parts. And I think today is the day that process starts. I have found a large amount of rust in around the arches and the back panel and pretty much everywhere around the rear. And I think it's going to be easier if I take the rear axle out of this car, and it gives me full access and I can clean everything. I can fully inspect everything just in case there is any more rust there. And yeah, give the car a good go over. But for that to happen, like I say, this rear axle needs to come out. Now, if you haven't seen any of the older videos, you'll know the difficulty I've had with seized bolts along the way. So this might be fun. So let's get this thing jacked up and see what happens. Right, so that was some of the low-hanging fruit. Let's have a little recap of what's taken off. I'm torn between reusing some of it and replacing it. Things like this anti-roll bar link, you can see. Hopefully you see here, this bush is completely shot. So things like that I'll be replacing. But the anti-roll bar bush is in actually good condition. There's no splits or tears. Still nice and soft, so I might reuse stuff like that just to try and keep the cost down. Again, marked up the bags for different components, making a little list of bits that will need replacing. Things like these shocks, they're supposed to be twice the length of that. I compressed them and they've stayed where they are, so they're probably gone. Not throwing anything out yet, just to make sure I can get bits and whatever else. Same with the springs, they look a bit grotty. But we'll clean them up and we'll see what they look like, see if they need it or not. Right, okay, so let's get these brakes disconnected, and then that'll allow me to drop this axle down in one fell swoop, I'm hoping. So the plan was to get this axle out yesterday, but a few things cropped up, so I couldn't do it. So anyway, I'm hopefully going to drop this out in one piece, with the diff and everything all still attached. Now, because of the way the lower arms are, it'll make a bit of a counterbalance, so I'm going to try maybe putting a long piece of wood between the two lower arms underneath here and across the diff and then right to the other side. And I'm going to see if that's going to stop it sort of rotating on top of the jack. Undo the bolts because I've loosened them off, and then hopefully drop the whole lot out as one. So don't know, we'll see how it goes. Right, let's get the jack under it, a bit of wood, and see what happens. So I'm really struggling with these subframe bushes. as I kind of was expecting. Now, the bolts that actually bolt through the subframe into the car, they came out no problem whatsoever. But the bushes themselves are seized in the little collars, I'm assuming, into the body. So this is the little device I'm trying to make up, and we'll see if it makes it any easier to get these bushes out. So hopefully here you can see I have got like a big G-clamp around the axle, then a strong piece, a punch that runs on the subframe, which goes underneath the bolt hole of this bush. Now my plan is if I go down through the hole with a big punch where the original bolt goes and hit down on this punch, it will effectively be hitting down on the subframe and might fray it off. What do we reckon? Let's give it a go. I'm probably going to get an axle stand under this subframe just in case it does drop a little bit. Got the jack under there, but yeah. Let's get in the car, give this a few hits and see what happens. That was a ball ache. That was, yeah, that wasn't fun. I think I'll do it a slightly different way next time. My main, well, not my main problem, but a problem was I didn't take the prop shaft off of the car. I was hoping I could just undo it and slide it out. But with these axle bushes being completely torn out, I couldn't slide the axle or the subframe forward or backwards because the mounts, wherever you can see, you won't be able to see, it's too dark, but they are still on the body of the car, the inserts for these bushes. So yeah, that made it a complete ball ache. And then once you sort of drop it down, I'm kind of stuck in the world of no return. So that all being said, it is out. It is just as crusty as you can imagine it would be. There's obviously some leaks going on there. It's been for quite a while, so it definitely is in need of a bit of attention. These arm bushes are starting to crack a little bit in there. Obviously the subframe bushes. So I think it's going to be a case of stripping this fully down. Get everything cleaned up individually before it goes back together. I did just cut off the handbrake cables. They were completely shot, so they needed replacing regardless. They are seized into the body of the car as well, so they just got the snip. And yeah, there we go, it is out. Right, I'm gonna have a good cup of tea, I think. Right, okay, so I was going to get underneath the car, give you a good show of the floor. To be fair, the floor isn't actually in bad condition. Now, we're gonna first off we're gonna ignore the big holes that we already know exist in the car, in the places like the arches and things like that, and the back panel. We'll ignore those, but the actual floor itself is pretty reasonable. There are obviously some like scabby areas of it. Like some of the undersill was peeling a little bit, just a little bit tatty, but no holes at least anyway. Now, obviously, brake pipes, handbrake cables, things like that, they are completely shot, so they're going to all get replaced. The fuel tank's looking a bit scabby. It's as you would expect for the age of the car, but not bad in terms of holes and urgent fixes. I was going to leave the floor, like the actual underside. I was going to leave it as it was, fix up around the outside of it, and obviously the actual body shell and painting. But I think I am going to get this car on a rotisserie, and do it properly and do it the once. It's one of those, I didn't really want to spend the time on this car doing that, but if I don't, I've always wanted to do it, I suppose, to a car. I guess this is the one. So I'm going to leave it there, I think, with the terms of this. Rear axle, that's all out. I need to clean it off and strip it down. And then I need to start looking at the engine and get the front end of this thing stripped down and look at getting it on a rotisserie. So yeah, if you've enjoyed what you've seen in this video, subscribe to the channel and follow along, and I'll join you in the next one when I start stripping the engine and front end off of this car. I'll see you next time. Never seized bolt to get out. I wonder how many more of these I've got to deal with.